What's going on, everyone? So, I want to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, have just like a fun little discussion on the benefits of potentially going and getting that star as opposed to some role players, right? Because there is an argument both ways. Now, I think regardless, the Lakers need like three guys, but I think if you get the star, you only need like two mid tier to low tier guys. Where if you don't get the star, I think you need three or four mid tier guys if you're serious about being a contender. If you want to be a contender this year. Now, look, it's very possible that it takes this year and next to really get to that contention status. But if you can do something now, right? Problem is the stars are very limited and there's pros and cons against all of them, right? Like Jimmy Butler, his age, contract, health issues. All these guys have health issues. Even the mid-tier guys all have health issues, right? Like I see so many comments from people that are just like, but this guy's injury prone and that guy's injury prone. Show me a guy that isn't, right? Like Valanciunas, right? Like, and the Lakers are probably going to get him. Outside of that, all these guys, Cam Johnson, like all these guys are all injury prone, right? Also the new NBA we're in. Guys don't play 82 games anymore. There's only a handful of guys every year that play 82 games. Right? Like those days are gone. Guys, there's a reason the NBA made the league rule 65 games, right? Because it's basically the average that all these stars and stuff are playing. 65. So as long as the guy's giving you around 65 games, you're fine, right? But Jimmy Butler's a guy, there's questions about, regular season, right? Now, come playoff time, like nobody would want to see LeBron James, Jimmy Butler, and Anthony Davis in a playoffs in a 7-game series. Now, Jimmy Butler gives you the toughness, gives you the defense, right? Gives you that versatility, that Swiss Army knife guy. He's also a guy that he doesn't care, right? With Jimmy Butler, there is like one of the questions with the star, right, is the pecking order. It's one of the reasons I like Zach LaVine so much is I don't think that there's that pecking order issue. I think Zach LaVine knows what his role is, what he's coming in to do, and he's the third guy, right? But if you were to get, say, a Steph, right? Like, okay, well, what's the pecking order on that? Is Steph the number one guy? Is AD the number one guy? Is LeBron just kind of playing the magic role? Like, is it just who has the hot hand, right? Like, you can get a little kind of clunky. And it's just like, okay, is this his natural smooth fit? Jimmy Butler, I don't think, question is fit-wise. Jimmy Butler doesn't shoot a lot of threes. He can knock them down, but he's not, this elite three-point shooter or anything like that. But he's also a guy that doesn't care, right? Whether he gives you 5 or 50, right? You know what he can give you. You know what he's capable of doing. But he's fine doing the dirty work, right? If LeBron's cooking, LeBron's going. Anthony Davis cooking, Anthony Davis going. Fine, here you go. Do your thing, right? So I do think that there are benefits to that. But also the problem is that, like, you also want a guy that can just dominate and take over, right? Where Jimmy Butler, the concern is the regular season, right? He's a guy that during the regular season, I mean, even Miami's called him out on just like taking the regular season serious and, playing games and showing up and stuff. He's already missed a handful of games for Miami. I mean, you look at the last 10 years, really. But, last year, 60 games, 64 games, 57 games, 52 games, 58 games, 55 games. Last time he played 65 plus games was 2018, 2019. So 5 years ago. Last time he played 70 games was back in 2016, 2017 when he was on Chicago. He played 76 games. This is a guy that's playing, 65 games, 60 to 65 games a season. Right? He's 35. What does he want contract-wise? Right? Now, he is, 55% field goal percentage, 36% from three this season, but he only takes 1.5 attempts, right? He hardly shoots the three ball. So he's taking 9.8 attempts. So he's only taking 11 field goals a game, giving you 58%, almost 59% from 3-point range or from 2-point range, giving you 19, 5 and 5. Right? Like, that'd be great. If he could do that in a third option role, give you 19, 5 and 5, that would be huge for the Lakers on a nightly basis. And he's a guy, on any given night, go give you 30. Right? Brandon Ingram, again, guy injured right now, but we're just talking through some stuff. Like Brandon Ingram, assuming he's healthy, right? He's a guy, again, kind of gives you those similarities. Give you a guy that go get you 25 and 5, be more of a scorer, takes more threes, right? But there's, again, questions about the fit, the pecking order, things like that. Questionable. Now, other side of things would be the role guys. Now, I have said, and I still stand by, that I think the best possible trade you could do is the full Nets package, right? Which is Dennis Schroeder, Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, and Day'Ron Sharpe. Because I think at that point you get multiple wings. You got a legit point of attack, athletic guard in Dennis Schroeder, and you get your backup center. You literally solve all of your holes, all of your issues. You're 8 to 10 deep, right? Because you still have Reeves, still have Connect, still have LeBron, you still have AD. Plus you're adding 4 guys, so there's 8 right there. You still have Max Christie, you still have some of these other guys, right? Christian Wood, he comes back, boom. There you go. You got 9, 10 guys. So I look at that and I go, that's probably the best overall package. But again, like, how do these guys play in the role? Right? Like, guy like Cam Johnson, injury issues. Dorian Finney-Smith, I really like it, but he's not like this elite premier guy. He's a legit two-way guy. I like Dorian Finney-Smith. I want him probably more than, anybody outside of like Zach LaVine and like Walker Kessler, just because he is versatile, slot in 2 through 4. He's a guy that, can defend 2 through 4, 1 through 4, right? Gives you some versatility. He's not like Jared Vanderbilt level defensively, but he's also much better offensively. He's shooting 40% from the field. To me, though, you could still get a star, right? Maybe not a Jimmy Butler, because I imagine Miami wants a decent return, but like Brandon Ingram, you could probably get dirt cheap, especially right now, given the injury. But even when he was healthy, probably get pretty cheap. Zach LaVine, I don't think you'd have to trade any picks to go get, right? Maybe a second or something like that. So sure. But when it comes to the Nets trade, right? Like, yeah, you're not getting as high of a ceiling raiser, but what does it cost? And again, you could get multiple. You could get a Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, and a Day'Ron Sharpe. I mean, if you're willing to trade Reeves, you could get, Dennis Schroeder too, right? Like, you can get to multiple guys if you're willing to really trade guys. But, if you want to keep Austin Reeves, then you're looking at, Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, Day'Ron Sharpe, which isn't bad, right? That's pretty solid. It's a good spot to be in, right? Got that ceiling raiser. Like, something like that, I think, can put you into contention. Got that higher end guy. Got that mid-tier guy that solves a need at the 3 and D spot, and you got a backup center. So I do think that there is an argument for like a combination of both, but I also think even if you could piece together, say, 4 top guys, right? If you could get Bruce Brown and Dorian Finney-Smith, and then Nick Richards and whatever, right? Like some wing from them, right? Like, now you're talking, okay, you got 3 to 4 kind of, mid to lower mid-tier guys. Cody Martin was the guy I was trying to think of. It just popped in my head, right? Like, let's say you get a Cody Martin, Dorian Finney-Smith, Day'Ron Sharpe, and a Bruce Brown, right? Like, okay, cool, right? So you got like 2 pieces from the Nets, got a piece from, Toronto, you got a piece from Charlotte. I think that, as long as you come around to essentially 4 higher end guys while keeping kind of your 4 top end guys and Reeves, Connect, LeBron, and AD, great, right? I think you're in good shape. Again, if the Lakers are willing to trade Reeves, well, then you can maybe even get a different guy, or a guy that makes more sense fit wise, especially if you got like, Zach LaVine in particular. Like, now you don't really have as big of a need for an Austin Reeves, right? Because now you could have Zach LaVine kind of play that role, right? And it'd make more sense to go get a point of attack guard, or go get a defensive piece to put alongside, LaVine, right? Like, what's better, Austin Reeves, Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, or like a Bruce Brown, Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis? I mean, even a Dennis Schroeder, you could argue, just because of the point of attack defense, right? Athleticism, things like that. But I do, again, think that there's an argument either way. I still lean towards if you can get the higher end guy, because it's more reliable, right? You get a Zach LaVine, you get a Brandon Ingram, you get a it's just a higher ceiling that you've now entered. It gives you more potential, more opportunity, right? It gives you that higher end consistency, right? A guy like a Zach LaVine, even on a bad night, is going to give you 15. D'Lo, Reeves, Rui, like these guys that we have right now, you don't know what you're going to get on a nightly basis. You cannot comfortably say that Austin Reeves is going to give you 15 tonight, right? Every night Austin Reeves plays, you cannot confidently say, oh, he's giving me at least 15. Right? Because you don't know. Right? Zach LaVine, you can, with pretty good confidence, go like, hey, he's going to give you 15. People were upset that he didn't drop 15 the other night because he put up 11, 9, and 9. And it's because he didn't have to score. Right? Like he was just wheeling and dealing and shredding the other team. Right? But outside of that, pretty much every night, guess what he's going to do? He's going to give you that, 15 to 20. On a good night, he could go as high as, 70. Right? Like, it's a big difference. Right? It's just, to me, I like the idea of just that ceiling raiser, higher end talent. Right? I prefer that. I prefer the guy that you can trust. Okay, tonight, he's going to go get you, whatever he needs to get you. Right? Even on a bad night, like clockwork, he's going to get you a consistent level of points, consistent level of scoring, right? If he needs to kind of take the night, he can do that too, whatever you need, right? You look at the last 5 games, 30 points, 32 points, that 11, 9, and 9 game, which they won, by the way, 139 to 124. And then he gave 18 points on 7 of 13 from the floor, which was also in another win. 7 of 13 from the floor, 3 of 7 from 3, which is 43%. 1 of 1 from the foul line, 4 assists, steal, 18 points, was a plus 25. And then he had 29. So he gave you 29, 18, 11, 32, and 30. That 11-point game was 11, 9, and 9. That 18-point game was on 7 of 13 shooting. Right? Like that's what you can count on. Like clockwork. He can any night give you 30 to on a bad night 15, and you can count on it. Regardless, you got to get the help along LeBron James and Anthony Davis. At the end of the day, that's the priority. Right? You got to get them the help that they need. You got to put them in position to have success. You got it. You got to get something done here. So hopefully something gets done sooner rather than later. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? Disagree? Kind of mixed in the middle? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it either way. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.